Hi, Tim Sells here. In this series of videos, I'm talking about what prevents someone from joining a network marketing company. And this one is that the prospect is afraid of being undermined by people that they know. All right, so let me explain this, the setup, if you will. If let's say that this is a prospect and this is me talking to the prospect, this prospect, when they project forward and think about building the business, they kind of say, you know what, I don't want people that I know or people that I don't know to, like invalidate me or look down on me or something like that. And so that's what I'm talking about in this video. And I'm here to tell you that I promise it'll happen. Okay. And you're like, I'm out. No, really and truly. If you're looking to advance in life, and I don't care what it is that you want to do, if you want to move up above the norm, then you got to pay close attention to this video, because it can, and I don't say this lightly, it can change your life to understand what I'm going to show in this video. And so you really do need a good understanding of words, and you need a full understanding of the feeling that you get. Okay. All right. So let me go through a couple of definitions. This one is the word undermine. If you undermine something, such as a feeling, you're making it less strong or less secure, often by gradual process or by repeating efforts. And I kind of get the idea of termites, right? So they're like moving out from underneath it, right? I think it actually means to turn to believe something else. All right. If you undermine someone or undermine their position, and that position could be being in network marketing, that position could be, I don't know, whatever, or their authority. You make their authority or position less secure, often by indirect methods. Okay, so they're not saying right straight to your face, although they might be in front of you, but they're coming from the side. They are saying something that you just kind of feel a little nipped, like it's not a knife in your gut, okay? It is just a little nip, like a pin stick. You're like, ow, right? It's just something like that. That is the indirect method. So they'll come around in some way. I'll give you examples in just a second. The next one is subvert. To overthrow or destroy, to undermine or corrupt, as in morals. So you can think of, a religious person, and they get around somebody that would, say something negative about their religion or something, right? And so it's undermining. That's also a way of subversion. To bring about the complete downfall or ruin, something existing. So of something that is existing. So you're, like you subvert a ship. You subvert a group of people to change their ways, their mind, right? It's from Latin, to turn, from below. Okay, so just the concept of it says it's like hidden. It's a hidden agenda. So I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to ask my friend Aaron to tell you, right? So I'm still doing it, but I'm not doing it. What did I say? I didn't say anything. Yeah, but you told Aaron that I was doing this. Well, yeah, but like it was his decision to say that. You see what I'm saying? It's hidden. And then invalidate, to render invalid or weak or less, ineffective, discredit it, to nullify. That's my favorite definition of invalidate. It means make zero, make less. Right? So if somebody says hi to you and you don't say hi back to them, that's make zero, right? You don't exist, right? No effect. Example, turn off your microphone while you're talking. Okay, so that would be just the boldest of invalidations, is you're talking, somebody cut your mic off, right? So that's an invalidation. And the last one is that, and this one is a little more raw, it's sabotage. If someone sabotages a plan or a meeting, they deliberately prevent it from being successful. The deliberate obstruction of or damage to any cause, movement, activity, effort. Okay, so if It would fall into there. Your effort, the activity that you're doing. To injure, disrupt, or destroy by sabotage. The figurative sense is injure by invisible, secret, or dishonorable means. But it doesn't mean that it's invisible, right? So it could be right out. All right. So what are words? I'm really getting somewhere. I know it's a little bit slow getting there, and I know it, but you'll understand it, I hope. Words are symbols that describe a real thing. I had to show you 4 different words to get the full meaning so that you can spot it, but not only spot it with words, but you can spot it by feeling. All right? Like, I sense it more than I hear it, because most of the time it is covert. It's hidden from view. But Tim, I just really care about you. It's the only reason I'm telling you. It's for your own good. It's the feeling that's going to matter at that point. It isn't those words, because it's sweet and it's so thoughtful of them to just slide the knife in. Right? It's like, oh, I didn't know you meant it that way. There is a percentage of the population who sabotage, invalidate, subvert, and undermine. I'm going to give you just a couple of quick experiences in my life to show you those differences. Okay, so my dad threatened to disown me if I got out of the military to do network marketing. Okay, so I was doing it part-time. I was doing really well. I told my dad that I was going to get out of the Navy. I was coming up on my 12th year or something like that. And if I just went 8 more years, then I would retire with half of my pay for the rest of my life. And he just couldn't fathom it. Okay, so he wasn't trying to sabotage or subvert me. He had a goal for me. I had to decide what I wanted. Okay? So, in other words, I'm not one to throw somebody under the bus unless they really are doing one of those actions. But I could tell from my dad and the history with my dad that he had a goal for me. There was a gentleman who worked with him who was retired from the military, and my dad always knew that this was just a side job, an extra thing, because he was set for life. He was making half of his base pay because he did 20 years in the military. And my dad didn't. He got out after 4 or 6. Okay. So that is a situation to where my dad did a threat to me, but I was able to see his true intention there. So what did I do? Well, I flew him in. I flew him up to my house, and I took him to a meeting that I was doing. I let him see the other people. I let him be around it. All right. And then later he understood why, because I was basically showing him how in 2 years I could make all of what the retirement would pay me, and so he was like, right. So that's the way that I had to handle that one. Okay. I told friends about my business. They laughed at me. I come in and they say, and he yells in the chow hall in the big room, and he said, "Are you a millionaire yet?" And some other guys laughed. All right, invalidate, undermine. Right, that's what it was. Okay, so how does that feel? Well, it felt horrible. Okay. But here's what I'm trying to teach in this situation. I'm trying to get you to level up in a perspective. When you look across it, because it was one of the conversations that I had with my dad. I could have it with him. I couldn't have it with these gentlemen. These were peers of mine. We were in the military together. We did a lot of things together, and they were friends. Okay. And so it was kind of odd for me to want to leave from their perspective. And I told my dad, I said, "Dad, but you're trying to influence what I want to do. I'm heading in a direction because I want to make more money. If you, Dad, if you're not the person who's going to pay for the life that I want, the college education that if my kids want it, then they can have it, to my house, my 2 cars for me and my wife. If you're not going to pay for it, then don't be so strong on your influence of what I want. All right. That was the conversation that I had with my dad. I knew these friends of mine were not going to do this. They were not going to pay my future. I also knew that if I was successful, they might not like that. They may see differences. And it was very interesting to me that one of my buddies that was not in this room when they did that, one of my buddies later, and I'm talking about just a few years ago, we were talking and he goes, "Oh man, I heard from somebody that you won the lottery." And I'm like, "Won the lottery?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "No, I built a business." And he goes, Oh, I don't know why they said lottery, right? In other words, that in their mind is probably what they viewed it as. It wouldn't have been that I actually built something. It would have been that I lucked out and won the lottery. You see what I'm saying? In other words, that was that state of mind. All right. I told a friend I wanted to get into rock climbing. The person started sending me pictures and stories of people dying while rock climbing. What is that? That's full-on subversion, undermining, eroding away, right? Hidden. Like, hey, I just thought you want to see this, right? Has somebody ever sent you a negative article on network marketing? Right? Well, good. Just turn around and send them the network marketing compared to real estate. Okay, so it's a video that just side-by-side comparisons. And YouTube, I did one on YouTube. I did one on a lot of different businesses, actors, entertainers, and things like that. So, do side-by-side comparisons, right? All right. So these here I've shown you are emphasizing words, okay? But like I said, I showed you 4 definitions because I want you to feel it. Because it has always been my secret, if you will. Even if I'm standing there and somebody comes up to me and they start talking to me, they want to ask me a question like after some kind of an event or something like that. I am able to feel it from the person before they say anything, right? And so I already know, all right, this is just one of those kind of people who want to subvert, sabotage, invalidate, undermine. I just know it, right? And so I can just kind of I don't do it. I'm not rude. I just let them say their piece, and I say, "Hey, thanks so much." And I just move on. But I'm stiff arming them as a spirit. I'm like, "You're out of here." I'm not going to let that happen. Okay. So that's the way that I'm able to keep my armor, keep my code of conduct for myself and my dreams. All right. So I got one thing to show you. All right. And, this is very, very interesting. And so I want to read this to you, and then I'm going to show this video to you because there's no sound, but I want you to watch what this lady does. Okay, so this is an attorney, and he's an attorney for this company called Bravery Brewing. And he says, an LA County health inspector dances moments after ordering Bravery Brewing to close. She ended up being wrong, ruined B&B's, which is Bravery Brewing, Super Bowl business. And then he says, if your restaurant has been bullied or intimidated by Los Angeles County, DM me. Okay? All right. So I want you to picture that you are the gentleman who owns this restaurant. You have your employees. You only open for 4 hours. You're not going to let anybody in to eat or anything. And so you're just going to open up because you know everybody in the town. It's a small town. It's like 150,000 people. It's like over near the Mojave Desert in California. And so you're just going to be open for 4 hours, and there are employees there that are running the thing, cashiers. And then this lady walks in 30 minutes after opening, and she somebody's checking out. Two people are checking out. And she walks up and she says, you have to close immediately. And they were like, what? What are you talking about? And she says, yeah, you don't have a truck here. Well, since it's a brewery restaurant, they have to have a food truck in order to do it. It's some COVID restriction item they have to do. But because they were not serving that day, they were just doing pickup, then it was fine, but she didn't know that. And so they said that to her, and she said, no, you're shut down. And so they called the owner. The owner called her, and she talked, and the owner says, you need to contact your supervisor. And so she did. She took 20 minutes, moved everybody out of the store. And after the 20 minutes, she then required the employees to make copies of 17 different forms in order for her to post them and leave. Okay. So remember, 4 hours, she walked in 30 minutes after they started. And so she probably took up half an hour, maybe more. But while they were doing that, she pushed everybody out of the building. And then the camera caught this image of her, video of her. And I want you to just picture that you are that guy that's watching it. You own the company, all right? You've got bills to pay. This whole thing is set up. He's obviously I know the story, but he's a son of a veteran who was in the Navy. All right. And so a bunch of paraphernalia and things like that are all around there. A bunch of pictures of his dad and just various different things. So it's a veterans type of a place. Okay. All right. So now you can watch the video, and I want you to just think if you were the owner of this company and you watch this lady do this. All right. Do you get the idea from the owner's perspective? Okay. So what I felt was the lady has no empathy for destroying a business. It actually makes her kind of feel good. I couldn't hold a position like that. And I'm not saying that everybody who does that, if I had a job like that, I would certainly really dislike having to shut somebody's business down or even disrupting it long enough for somebody to take, do copies. Because as we all know, the restaurant industry is absolutely being destroyed because of COVID, right? 100,000 restaurants have closed in just 2020, right? Losses of $240 billion. It's mind-boggling. The nation has lost 11.5 million jobs. We could all unite together and solve any problem. But as long as there are people who are doing sabotage, people who are doing undermine, people who are invalidating, those types of behaviors, then it only gets, so force gets force, right? Like that's the rule. And so if I want you to just really understand and embrace that there are some people who just do those behaviors. It's not everybody. I don't have this mean look. I don't have this fear. I don't have this angry. I don't have this anything. I embrace all. When I feel those symbols that I described to you, those words, when I feel those from another, I just don't let them get access. And so for the person who is looking at network marketing and you're afraid of being judged, I assure you that anything you want to do that's above the norm, okay, there will be attempts of undermine, invalidation, sabotage, and subversion. All right. It's going to happen. And in fact, it's going to happen anyway, no matter what you do. This is the price you pay for wanting more or being elite. All right. And so you got to be strong, stay close to true allies, people who are doing what you want. This is what I want you to understand is that somebody doesn't take you out because you fear another. All right. Somebody's view of you. That is more costly than everything that's ever happened about COVID. Okay. I assure you, because when you have that power to make your decision and keep that decision, that's senior to everything else. And so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, you may think about sharing it if you know anybody who you think that it might help them. And then, and also, if you haven't subscribed, you might do so. Thanks so much for watching.